Chances are if you live in or around Webb City, then you've definitely been to this theater right here, and you've more than likely seen a few movies there. But have you heard the amazing history behind this Webb City gem? From advertising giving away a live baby to hypnotists coming to perform live, this is the history of Webb City's last standing movie theater. Our story begins with my favorite Webb City location, the Newland Hotel. You see, at one point the Newland Hotel may have been the place to be, but as the 40s and late 50s it was kinda looking pretty bad. Pretty much a big eyesore in Webb City's downtown area. The hotel was burnt by many fires and was pretty dangerous at this point to be sitting there. However, it's not getting torn down yet. The bottom is going to get more modernized. The year is 1946 and it's time for improvement. On February 22nd, in the next few days, the Webb City Sentinel would advertise this right here, the grand opening of the Dickinson Movie Theater. Opening day was scheduled for Friday, March 1st, 1946. Two films were shown on opening day, Cowboy Canteen and Wildfire. Carl Junction actually tipped their hats to us in the paper, saying the Dickinson had the finest and most beautiful theater in the Tri-State District. The theater was opened by Glenn Dickinson, who also had a theater in Joplin that you've probably passed before and now it just sits abandoned. The new theater boasted of having scientific cooling and heating, amazing new RCA sound, airflow, upholstered seats, and more. On opening day, some performances were held here at the theater, including the Webb City High School Band performing, and Art Perry and his pals making an appearance. Free flowers were also given over to the ladies. For the next few years, the Dickinson would show several moving pictures, and here's just a few from the newspaper's ads that I could find. Also, to show you how much times have changed, this ad right here says that if you were to make a purchase over at the theater, they would give you some free fireworks, so they were pretty much just telling the kids, here you go blow your hands up in the street. If we're talking about theaters, then it's only appropriate we talk about the area's theater man himself, Mr. Larry Larson. Larry Larson built and designed several theaters around our area, including Joplin's old Fox Theater, now a Christian church, Webb City's old Civic Theater, the Civic Drive-In, and of course, this beauty here. He also had ownership of the Mystic Theater, renaming it the Junior Theater. Now you may be wondering, where was that at? Well, you've more than likely eaten some breakfast over there because now it is the Webb City Cafe. Larry Larson's health began to fail in the late 1940s, which led to his son Howard Larson taking on more responsibility for the business. February of 1950, Larry Larson unfortunately passed away at 57 years old. This is when Howard Larson comes more into the picture, purchasing the theater in 1950, renaming it the Larson in honor of his father. He was also the co-owner and the manager of the Civic and Junior Theaters. Now that he purchased the Dickinson Theater, he planned to run it and close the Junior Theater. Fast forward to April 1954, the theater must have closed down in those 4 years somewhere because Howard Larson secures a new lease on the building. He will reopen the theater when his other location, the Webb City Drive-In Theater, shuts down for the autumn. Before opening, however, he had some plans in mind. There were plans for laying new tile in the lobby, repainting the interior, and ornamental aluminum sheets to be installed on the front of the building. Just 2 months later, the theater would mysteriously catch fire in June of 1954. Larson states that plans for a remodel will still be happening that fall. In December of that same year, the theater must have opened up at some time, because this paper states that Howard Larson will be giving a free Christmas show to the children. Jump forward to the next time the theater is in the paper again, and that is March of 1957. The newspaper claimed that Webb City hadn't had a theater since the closing of the Civic that last fall in 1956, meaning the Larson was most likely not running. However, that same paper had an article talking about two guys, William Bradfield and Virgil Naramore. These two guys buy the real estate, the buildings, and the equipment of the Civic Theater, the Webb City Drive-In, and the Junior Theater, all purchased from Mr. and Mrs. Mayberry. The Mayberrys got the holdings in recent months, due to note foreclosure acts against the previous owners, the Civic Theater Company. The closing of those theaters in autumn of 1956 would mark the Larson family's last operation. Nothing in the paper mentions the Larson Theater being purchased around that time, so that's why I think that it probably sat empty for a few years, evident by these photos, but I'm not sure the exact year that they were taken. After 1957, information on the Larson goes dark and I can't find pretty much a single thing. That's why I think the building sat empty for so many years. Flash forward quite a bit now, this time to the late 90s. This is when the Munson family comes in and purchases the theater, putting hard work into restoring and remodeling the place, primarily for music shows, as you can see here, leading to the name, the Route 66 Music Theater. Later, a man named Brady Moses comes along and he purchases the theater, putting in a projector. However, I can't find much at all on him, just this brief mention of him in an article. However, that same article is talking about how the theater just got bought yet again. It's 2005, and Scott and Nancy Hudson are about to bring back moviegoing in Webb City. They bought the theater, giving way more life to downtown Webb City. They plan to use the building to hold their Harley Owners Group's meetings there. To this day, Scott and Nancy still own the theater and run operations under a new name, the Route 66 Movie Theater. If you want a classic vintage movie theater experience, I seriously cannot think of another place to go. Scott and Nancy have done an absolute phenomenal job bringing this theater back to its classic look and vibe with this gorgeous Art Deco building. With its low prices, they make movie-going fun and affordable. They even have some old movies and some events still to this day. There's also so many fun facts I found out about this place while researching, so I couldn't fit them all into this video, so here's just a few of my favorites. Clarence McDonald, manager at the time of it being called the Dickinson, had actually gotten in trouble for operating a gambling device. Clarence was running a dart game for cash prizes, calling it Dartaway. On December 13th, 1946, this more than odd ad ran in the paper saying that on Christmas Day the theater was going to be giving away a live baby off the stage. When Christmas came, it was revealed that it was actually just a baby pig named Junior. An actor once visited our theater in 1946. Web City folks swarmed Abner Weaver from the Weaver Brothers and Elviry asking for autographs. In 1947, we also had a hypnotist come in to perform live in the theater. Honestly, I could go on and on with more stories I have about this place. It just has such an amazing, rich history. This video is one of the longer research topics. It was honestly really difficult to find out information on this place. I had to find documents, newspaper clippings, old photos, and more to just piece this whole story together, but I'm so happy I finally learned all the info, because a lot of this information I've never really seen be put into the light, and I've spent years and years wondering about the history of this place. I'm honestly just so happy that I can share all this information with you guys so you too can know the history of this amazing theater. If you would like to know more about the Jasper County area's history, make sure you drop a like and follow. If there's any location around the Jasper County area that you would like to know more about the story or the history of, shoot me a message or drop me a comment and I will look more into it. Check out my YouTube channel, Jasper County Tall Tales, where I will be uploading more in-depth videos pretty soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.